merit.
She's the head of the British Royal Mail, but she started with a liberal arts degree from MUN.
I really honestly felt, as my mother always said to me, I could do anything.
Well, we're hanging on to the mild temperatures, but the clouds are increasing across the province over the next 24 hours. Showers marching in as well. The details are coming up.
Well, police continue to investigate the discovery of human remains near the woods off Mount Sion Road in St. John's.
Late this afternoon, they announced the death does not appear to be suspicious.
Here now, Cease Harris following this story, and he joins us now live. Cease?
Carolyn, the call went in to the Royal Newfoundland Constabulary headquarters around 9 o'clock last night. Human remains found in a wooded area. Shortly after the call came in, 2 RNC patrol cars could be seen parked on O'Brien Farm Road, which used to be Oxen Pond Road. The cordoned off area was wedged in between Mount Sion Road and O'Brien Farm Road near the large fields of the old O'Brien Farm. Police blocked off access to the entire area overnight. By morning, the yellow tape restricted access along a path known as the Horse Trail, and police confirmed they were dealing with human remains. Now, late this afternoon, the RNC said they have determined that this death does not appear to be suspicious in nature, but an identification has not been made at this point. Reports of human remains spark interest. The RNC's missing persons list currently has 16 people on it. Some attract more attention than others. For example, one is Joshua Miller. He was reported missing from St. John's in February 2013. Last seen getting out of a cab up around the Stavanger Drive area. He was wearing a t-shirt and pants. He hasn't been seen since. Others on the RNC's missing persons list date as far back as the 1970s. Now, here on the Horse Trail, just off Mount Sion Road and the old O'Brien Farm Road, this is the area where it was cordoned off earlier this morning. The yellow tape went along the trail here, and the tape went on into the woods there in that wooded area a couple of 100 meters. Now, the RNC hasn't said how long they think the remains were left in the woods, and they also haven't indicated when they think the identification will be completed. Cease here, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, with summer around the corner, more people will be driving to get away on vacation. And as of tomorrow, that'll be more affordable as a cut to the provincial gas tax kicks in. Peggy Lamb has our story.
Starting tomorrow, these numbers will be turning more slowly. Residents here will be getting a tax break on gas. For every liter they buy, they will be saving 8.5 cents. The government announced in the provincial budget that they wanted to reduce the temporary gas tax they put on last year.
They've met some sort of a financial goal here, so they decided to start easing off on the gasoline tax. So, consumers obviously and businesses alike both had to carry a load when it comes to the tax increases that were implemented. The debate is still around there whether it was necessary or not, but the simple fact is we're going to be seeing a break here, and we're all positive about that.
Amanda Russell is a mother of 3 who spends most of her day driving her children around. On some days, she says she's not able to take them out because of how much it costs.
Since this new year has come in, and with the economy as it is with the jobs and stuff, like our income has been kind of lower than it was previously, so we've had to pick and choose the days we go anywhere with our children, and we've had to put some trips and off this year because we just, of course, gas wise and money wise, to travel anywhere this year is kind of hard.
With this new tax break, Russell believes it will save her a lot.
$30 makes a big difference when you have 3 kids. Like it means, more activities. We can maybe go to Action for a night with them, or, it even just, that little bit of extra to go towards groceries. It helps, definitely.
Most people, like Amanda Russell, welcome this tax break, although there's always this lingering fear that prices will increase again for the summer. Others, like George Murphy, are optimistic. He says that prices are most likely to stay low for the season. Peggy Lamb, CBC News, St. John's.
So just how much money will the province lose in order to cut the gas tax by 8.5 cents per litre tomorrow and by a further 4 cents in December? $60 million is their estimate.
Well, it's round 3 tonight in the Great Galway Roundabout Ruckus. On Monday night, St. John's Deputy Mayor Ron Ellsworth tabled a letter from Danny Williams in which the Galway developer argued he shouldn't have to pay for a roundabout on Ruth Avenue. Well, yesterday, Williams criticized Ellsworth, saying that as someone accused of loan sharking, he shouldn't be making decisions about development in St. John's. And here now, Mark Quinn is here with the latest volley. Mark?
Well, Carolyn, St. John's former mayor and outspoken citizen Andy Wells is now weighing in. He says the city policy is clear and Williams should pay for that roundabout.
All of us taxpayers in the city of St. John's should not have to bear any of the costs associated with infrastructure development above the 190. That is to protect existing taxpayers. So that's a binding resolution of council.
So when Williams spoke yesterday, he criticized Ron Ellsworth and repeated allegations that Ellsworth lent money to a developer at illegally high interest rates. Today, Ellsworth received praise of a sort from Andy Wells.
Finally, somebody down at City Hall has decided that they're going to start to follow the provisions of the Freedom of Information bylaw, which says that these kinds of matters are not allowed. It's illegal to discuss them at a private meeting. They must be tabled and discussed at a public meeting. And finally, Ellsworth woke up, I suppose, and he must have read the bylaw.
Now, as for the disputed roundabout, Ellsworth says council will revisit that. It'll take another hard look at what was actually promised when they first agreed to allow this development to go ahead. But people now, of course, are wondering what's happening with Andy Wells. Some people are questioning why he's been so outspoken recently and why is he perhaps thinking about running in the next election. Well, today he said again he hasn't decided yet, but he did say he will have to decide very soon. Carolyn?
Thanks, Mark. That's Here and Now's Mark Quinn reporting live. Well, the head of the civilian oversight body that investigates serious incidents involving police in Nova Scotia says this province could benefit from a similar organization. Right now, when police here are involved in an incident like a shooting, an outside police force is asked to investigate. Justice Minister Andrew Parsons has promised that will change, and the director of the Nova Scotia Serious Incident Response Team supports that.
That the public can see that there's an independent, separate organization that's run by a civilian that does thorough, complete, objective investigations and reaches conclusions and then tells the public what those conclusions are and how they reach them, so the public themselves can understand why it is a certain decision was made. And the huge benefit to that, in my view, is that the public, go, okay, that makes sense to us, and they can have confidence in those decisions.
Now, this province's justice minister says legislation to create a serious incident response team will be introduced this year. One option is to create an investigative body that serves all of Atlantic Canada.
Prescriptions for pain drugs are becoming scarce in St. John's. That's according to a chronic pain and addictions doctor who spoke during last night's CBC NL Facebook live chat about fentanyl. He says it's likely due to a rash of overdoses suspected to be linked to the opioid.
In the last 3 weeks in St. John's, a lot of the prescriptions for opioids have started to dry up. So doctors are, because of the pharmacy monitoring system.
Right, so what is the spin-off of that then?
So what ends up happening is they find out it's being abused, they stop it immediately, and then the person is left with, where do I go?
Well, family and friends are gathering this evening to remember Jamie Wilkinson of Flat Rock. Wilkinson spent years waiting for a new heart, and one finally became available last week. However, he died from complications during the surgery. Wilkinson and his wife moved to Toronto 3 years ago to be closer to his medical team and to receive medical treatment not available in this province. His family says Wilkinson remained a positive person despite the many obstacles he faced. Well, in other news tonight, 18 people from Mud Lake who can't go home because of flood damage will be able to stay at the airbase in Happy Valley Goose Bay for a little longer. More than 60 people were rushed out of their houses when water levels rose earlier this month. Most found private accommodations, but a similar group was temporarily placed in housing at the airbase. The federal government has now extended that arrangement for a month.
Well, you'll soon see a new fixture in St. John's Harbour. Construction on a $13 million pier is scheduled to begin next month. The St. John's Port Authority is building an extension to Pier 17. It will be a finger pier that will project from the shoreline into the harbour. The pier will increase the number of vessels that can berth in the harbour and accommodate ships on both sides. The St. John's Port Authority says it expects more traffic from the offshore industry in the coming years, and this will increase the harbour's capacity. The federal government is paying half of the $13 million price tag. Construction is expected to finish by August of next year.
Well, you can start mapping your day if you're going to be in St. John's for July 1st to celebrate Canada's 150th birthday. The city has now laid out its plans. The day will start with a free breakfast at Signal Hill, and that will be followed by a family fun day in the Kitty Vitty Lake area. And then in the evening, there will be a free concert at the Dominion Memorial parking lot featuring the Sheepdogs, the Novaks, and Mallory Johnson. And of course, there will be fireworks. Wrapping up the celebrations at 10 p.m., the city is offering its free Metrobus park and ride service all day.
After the break, I'll speak with the Newfoundlander who's known as one of the most powerful women in Britain. Moya Green was back home to receive recognition from Memorial University.
This weather update is brought to you by the Take Charge Business Efficiency Program. Over 400 businesses have saved energy and taken charge of their bottom line. Find out how you can too.
Well, he predicted sunshine today.
Finally.
Boy, you delivered.
And you had to go out and make sure everything was pretty good.
Absolutely. I had to go out and double check, and I really took my time. We headed over to Bannerman Park. We had some hats and sunglasses, and we were checking out what everybody was up to. So you visiting or?
Yeah, visiting. We were here for a wedding.
Oh, nice. How long are you here for?
Until this Saturday.
Yeah, nice.
Then we head back.
It's like this here all the time.
Oh,
like
yes, it
all
is.
year. Yeah, right through from basically March right through till November. It's just like this.
That's great. I should come back more often.
You definitely should. You got more than one rugrat here.
We do. My other little guy's going nonstop around on his bike.
Nice. How long have you been waiting for a day like this?
Oh, way too long.
Yeah. And do you have any big plans this summer? Does this stir any plans?
Yes, it makes you want to get out of, tent and go camping.
And do you have any concrete plans for camping this summer?
We're going to Grossmorn for a week in July. So
nice.
hopefully it will be days like this.
Yeah. No pressure on me though, right? Jackson, what's your favorite part about coming to the park?
Going down slides.
Going down the slides? And going down the slides is so much nicer when the weather is nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
What are we having for lunch? What's for snack?
Snake.
You got a snake?
I have this and this.
Those are goldfish. Those look really good. And what's that? Looks good though. What's your name?
Julia.
Julia, beautiful. Now, are you learning how to ride your bike today? Yeah. And how's it been going?
Good.
Good. It's a beautiful day for it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So who's this?
This is Sayla.
And what's your name?
My name's Allison.
And how are you enjoying this day?
I'm really enjoying it. I'm just on my lunch break. Took a little extended hour.
Nice.
Don't tell my boss. And yeah, just sitting in the park, doing a little reading. Loving it.
How long have you been waiting for a day like this?
Pretty much since the last nice day we had, which was probably...
Last fall?
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah. Well, enjoy. I won't hold you up any longer. Enjoy today. Enjoy this CBC hat.
Swag.
You can, yeah, absolutely. You pull it down low, and then your boss won't know at all that you were ever on the show.
Good call.
Yeah,
Good
and
move.
we'll disguise your voice.
Awesome. Thanks, good.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
A lot of lunches taken outside, I'm
You
sure,
betcha.
today.
It
And a
just
little bit
brings
more,
the
too.
spring to your step and a smile.
It really
and
does.
Best
Sarah
story of the day though was a gentleman who we saw like duck behind the building there, and then he later came out and said, "Please don't put me on camera. My boss thinks I'm homesick today." So I gave him a hat and sunglasses and said, "You better wear these for the rest of the day. Lay low, enjoy the sun." So it should have been a holiday today. We waited so long for a day like this.
Truly.
Have a look at how nice it was. And yeah, Metro, as we mentioned, has really, that entire northeast coastline into St. John's has really struggled this month, and it paid off for the wait today. No doubt where the water had an impact on temperatures today. Note from CBS up into Paradise, Portugal Cove, St. Philip's, Balleen, all in that 16 to 18 degree range, 20 to 21 away from the water, from the Goulds to Mount Pearl up towards downtown St. John's. Clark's Beach, Bishop's Cove in the 20 to 21 degree range as well. So the water did have a big impact on those temps today. How about Gander? Slow clap, first 20 degree official temperature there today. Also 20 degrees in Badger, 18 in Corner Brook, a gorgeous day for most. Some showers pulling up into Labrador through the day today, just 12 in Labrador City with the showers that are rolling into your neck of the woods right now. And current temps, it's still a lovely evening. If you're out and enjoying, I hope you're watching this later on PVR or our YouTube channel, where of course you can watch the show anytime. Current sustained winds, we are looking at southwesterly winds in that 30 kilometer per hour range in St. John's and 20 to 30 across much of the island. There are those showers that I mentioned that have been pulling in through the day today, just starting to work up towards the west coast. It's been off and on showers through southern parts of Labrador today. The clouds have just started to roll into the St. John's metro region in terms of that high cloud, and that'll thicken up through tonight. Showers in Port aux Basques, up into Corner Brook, Gros Morne, and across the northern peninsula as we speak. And again, those showers starting to push, towards the Happy Valley Goose Bay region, Labrador City, and Churchill Falls. And here's how it will all play out. So obviously this is the rain in green, and you can see where the shower chances tonight from Corner Brook up the northern peninsula into western Labrador, mainly a scattered risk in Happy Valley Goose Bay and also along that south coast, where temperatures will be mild, but certainly those fog patches will be a little on the thick side. We are looking at that drizzle on the go as well. Chance of a morning shower, a shower before morning in the Marystown region, but I think just mainly cloudy skies from Gander down towards St. John's. A slight risk in Grand Falls, Windsor as well. Note the freezing rain and freezing drizzle risk for tomorrow morning in Nain. Labrador City, the risk of a thunderstorm overnight and through the day tomorrow. Quite unsettled in terms of the atmosphere overhead there. We are looking at across the island, again, some scattered showers for the west tomorrow. A slight risk in central, but certainly a risk. And St. John's, I think we will stay dry until tomorrow evening. No doubt the clouds will be far more dominant than they were today, but not ruling out a sunny break or two. Temperatures a bit cooler, but still 12 to 13 degrees, which is not far from seasonal for this time of year. 8 in Placentia tomorrow. Better chance of some showers in the clouds, a little more dominant from the Burin and then especially across that south coast. Again, the showers will be scattered in nature. Won't rule out some sun breaks tomorrow from Terra Nova to Grand Falls, Windsor. 15 degrees there. A better chance and the best chance certainly from Bay Verte back across to the west coast of the island tomorrow. 8 in onshore winds to as warm as 13 to 14 inland. And for the Straits and Northern Peninsula, again, good chance of showers and drizzle here. 7 in onshore winds, 12 away from the water. We will warm up after that freezing drizzle tomorrow morning, but only to 3 for Nain and Makovic. 17 to 15 degrees, and again with that risk of thunderstorms in Lab City. Long-range details are still ahead. Debbie.
Thanks, Ryan. Well, her name might not be all that familiar, but St. John's native Moya Green has left her mark on the federal public service, banking, business, and more since moving from the province. The former head of Canada Post and current CEO of Britain's Postal Service since 2010 is the only non-Briton and first woman to hold that position. Yesterday, she received an honorary doctorate from Memorial University. It's been more than 4 decades since Moya Green was on this stage to receive her undergraduate degree. Next was a law degree from Osgoode, and then an impressive career. The accolades followed. One of the top 40 female corporate executives in Canada. In 2013, she was named the 12th most powerful woman in Britain by the BBC. And the next year, the Financial Times Person of the Year. She lives in London these days, but Moya Green never forgot where she came from. I spoke with her just after her convocation address. And the first time you crossed this stage was 1974 to pick up your bachelor's degree. What went through your mind as you came here today?
You know, I think it was so important for Madam Chancellor to invite the graduates to just think and savor the moment. I remember being so nervous that I can hardly remember a thing. And I remember overall, it was a very happy time, my time at Memorial. And there were lots of changes happening around me that made sure that it was going to be a much easier road for me to hoe than it had been for our mothers, for example. Because I was coming through with, you know, all of those giants of the feminist movement pointing a finger about the need for much greater gender equality. People like, you know, Laura Sabia and Gloria Steinem, and so I just felt that plus the you know, the rich heritage of Newfoundland and a liberal arts education. When I finally got over that moment, I really honestly felt, as my mother always said to me, I could do anything.
When you were here accepting this honorary doctorate today, was there somebody you were thinking about, perhaps your mother?
Absolutely, yes. She was an amazing person. Anytime, you know, we ever got any recognition for anything, any of us, she would say, well, that's good. She said, but never let that stuff go to your head. Just keep going.
I'm wondering what you hope the graduates will take away from your experience that's brought you to this position today?
I hope that they manage to, you know, not wobble when the path gets a bit rockier, as it inevitably will, and just, you know, rely on a sense of humor to sort of stand up for whatever they think is important. And, you know, I left them with a line that had been applied to me at one point, and I think it is so necessary. You can be, you know, fiercely intelligent, but at the end of the day, accomplishment is sometimes about being intelligently fierce.
You have displayed that through your career. You've never shied away, it appears, from tough jobs, difficult decisions with the Department of Transport. I mean, you oversaw the deregulation of Air Canada, the privatization of CNR, and no tougher job than leading the iconic British Royal Mail to privatization. Where does that fearlessness come from?
You know, lots of good experience. Experience helps you feel, okay, size things up and scale them properly and figure out, well, what do I need to do and how do I order it? And experience also teaches you, okay, what kind of people do I need? What kind of strengths, what kind of abilities do I need to supplement the things that I don't have? And because no one person, you know, has everything. I would say one experience for me led to more experiences. And then, you know, if you have managed to find some success doing them, your footing doesn't wobble as often. You know, your footing gets more stable and you're just able to go forward.
I read somewhere that you credited Newfoundland with being a big influence on you. How so?
Well, you know, Newfoundland is this unbelievable, you know, mighty rock in the middle of the North Atlantic, but it has really given people a lot of resilience. So, you know, we're not easily set back, Newfoundlanders. The other thing about Newfoundland is that it's really an open place. You know, it's been open to people from all over the world, again, for ages, which gives you a way of looking at things which is very helpful. And then the most important thing about Newfoundland, I think, is the vein, the deep vein of humor. You know, we can make the whole country laugh. And I think those three things, resilience, obviously the grit that comes from experience, and good humor, that'll take you a long way.
I want to talk about Canada Post. You were the former CEO. With increasing private competition, developing technology, drones, perhaps delivering the mail or packages, do you think there is still room for a crown corporation that is Canada Post? Should it still be run by government and controlled by government?
You know, that is a very interesting question, Debbie, because there's no point in being just doggedly ideological about these things. I've always thought it actually doesn't matter who owns it. If it's not successful, if it's not being set up to be successful, if it's not being invested in, if, you know, it's being asked to do things that it just simply cannot afford to do, then it doesn't matter who owns it. It's not going to be successful.
Now, after the break, Moya Green on being a woman in charge of Britain's Royal Mail and her hope for others who follow their career dreams.
So far this year alone, there have been 5 sexual assault complaints where the suspect is believed to be a taxi driver. Who's keeping track of who's behind the wheel? A CBC News investigation has learned there are serious gaps in oversight of who's driving your cab.
Welcome back to Here and Now. Moya Green was in St. John's yesterday to receive an honorary doctorate for Memorial. The 62-year-old heads a workforce of 160,000 and earns more than $3 million a year as the head of Britain's Postal Service. Here's part 2 of our conversation. To the present, you have a job that no other woman has had. Did your gender ever give you pause that maybe I can't do this?
I have to say no. And that too, I think, comes from Newfoundland, because I was so fortunate to have the family I had, to be reasonably well educated, to come from this place, this very special place where, you know, resilience is bred in the bone, and a sense of humor, you know, you've got to have it. And then I had the whole backdrop of that feminist movement. So between the family, the place, and that movement for gender equality and all of the social change that goes along with it, no, I never thought that my gender was going to be what would hold me back.
I'm wondering where you get your stamina from to do this job.
You know, it's fabulous. I love my job. You know, I don't think people should do jobs that they don't think they're going to love. And if you get into a job and you don't love it, then you owe it to yourself and the institution or the entity to kind of move along, go shine your light somewhere else. But I don't feel about it that way. I love the company. I love being out in the field. I love what our people do every day. I love the fact of their mission, you know, to be the universal service provider in Great Britain. They wear that on their sleeves as a badge of honor, you know, through thick and thin. So most of the time it doesn't feel like work.
That's amazing. What advice do you have for women, those with children who want to reach their full potential, no matter what area they choose? What would you say to them?
It's really, really good question, because really realizing your full potential as an executive or in any sphere, in any professional sphere, it does take a lot of time. And it's really difficult going sometimes, juggling what you need to do for your family. You have family responsibilities. You just need to do those things. I was lucky enough, you know, to be able to have help to call upon. And I was lucky enough to have mentors through my career, men and women who, you know, at crucial times in my career, you know, would let me organize my day so that I could do both. But there's no question that that is a very big challenge. And, you know, one of these days, we're going to have a person in public office, in a sufficient number of public offices around the land, that we will change daycare policy, and it will be high quality, and women won't have to worry about it, and it will be there for them so that they can better manage what they genuinely need to put into a senior executive role and what they genuinely need to put into their families. So we've got a way to go, but you know, if I think back to my Mother's Day, for example, you know, there were so many women in the 40s and the 50s that had good educations and lots of aspiration, but they just never had the supportive environment around them to enable them to do what I have been able to do. And hopefully in my daughter's day, the changes that we have made as professional women in the world, it's going to be easier for them.
So more will be able to break that glass ceiling that you have.
I absolutely think that's true. Yeah, they do now. They do now. My management team, you know, I would say 40% of my senior executive team is female. You know, we've done all kinds of things to help people manage responsibilities that they have. both to their private lives and to their jobs. And the world will be a better place for that.
Moya Green, you seem to be in a wonderful place. Is there a final comment that you would like to make?
I'm very thankful to Memorial University and this beautiful island. You know, we have prepared a lot of people. I was hearing that even though this is a young university, you know, it punches way above its weight. It sends people out confident all over the globe to make their marks. And as a result, this university is a wonderful place to have on your CV.
Moya Green, congratulations once again on
Thank
your
you very
honorary
much.
degree. Thank
wonderful.
you for speaking with me.
Thank you very much, Debbie.
What an interesting lady, Debbie. And Moya Green has accomplished a lot in her long career, but I understand there's also someone very close to her that is also very accomplished.
Yeah, a little bit of trivia here. Moya Green told me her first husband of 12 years and father of their daughter is none other than Supreme Court of Canada Justice Malcolm Rowe, first person from this province to ever sit on the Supreme Court. They were at Osgoode Hall together.
Wow, it's so good to see two of our own so successful. Thanks, Deb. Well, the Brits love their tea, but so do people in this province. Now a business-minded person is tapping into that market. The story after the break. Welcome back to Here and Now. Well, it's easy enough to find tea drinkers in this province, but it's a lot harder to find tea makers. That's according to Nicole Keats, who's launching her very own company in Gander. She's hoping to take on the big tea makers with her new blends. She speaks with Here and Now's Garrett Berry about her business.
Actually started with coffee. I was considering opening a roaster here in Gander. I went to the Canadian Coffee and Tea trade show in Toronto back in September with my daughter, and while we were there we tried a few cups of some loose leaf organic tea. I didn't know very much about tea at the time, but we met a few suppliers, came back with a load of samples, and it dawned on me at some point during this process that Newfoundland is a province full of tea drinkers and there wasn't yet a good organic loose leaf tea company. So I changed my vision and decided to go with tea instead. Traditionally, people, were the red rose or the Tetley drinkers. It's what our, forebearers basically grew up on. Yeah, I have very fond memories of sitting at my grandmother's kitchen table and drinking red rose tea out of a cup and saucer, and then drinking from the saucer, of course with evaporated milk. That's the only way to drink tea in my opinion, but or that kind of tea anyway. But I don't know. I don't know why anybody hasn't explored it. I know there was a couple of tea shops on the island, and there still may be a couple here and there, but there's nothing that's really been out there for the masses in Newfoundland. Yeah. Yes, I just started doing my own blend. I have come up with one called Lemon Ginger. It's a decaf. It's good for your belly. It's good for your soul. It's obviously all organic. It's made with rooibos, lemon peel, lemongrass, and a bit of ginger. And it's a very soothing tea. And I'm very pleased with how it turned out. And I'm hoping to move on to a super berry next. I think you have to start with an idea and then kind of take it from there. Like for instance, the berry idea, I have no idea how it's going to turn out. For me, the taste is the most important. I know what I'm looking for in the taste, so once I find it by mixing different ingredients, I'll settle for that. And then once I do that, that will go out to a few customers that have become very good supporters of mine, and they will try them and let me know how it tastes.
Tastemakers.
Tastemakers, yes. Eventually, I'd like to get to a point where more than half of what I'm doing is my blends. I take a lot of pride in what I do, and I think in order for it to really be something that's all mine, that's the way to go. I don't know. I've always been a business person, and I mean that, like I was one of those kids that never played house, never played doctor. I used to go to the bank with my mom, and I would steal all the deposit slips and the withdrawal forms. You don't even know what that is because you're too young. But at the time, you would do it all manually. So I would come home with, hundreds of slips, and then I'd make all my friends come over and play bank with me. Or I'd run a restaurant in my house. Or I've just always had more of a business mind, I think. I've always had a side business since the time I was 8 years old. I started making seed bead jewelry and selling that. I used to make lamps. I've always done something. I used to have a very successful jewelry design company here on the island, but I got old, my hands got weak, and my eyes got really bad, so I had to give that up. So I don't know, I just have always been in business.
The weather update is brought to you by Belltone Hearing Service St. John's, helping the world hear better.
Today is definitely a day to drink tea on the patio.
Yes.
Or something, maybe iced tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, iced tea.
Cool beverage, perhaps. A really nice day out there. And again, still some icebergs around.
Yeah, just have a look at this.
Camera operator Cal Tobin shot this tour boat heading out to Bay Bulls this afternoon. And yeah, it's summer when the tour boats are on the water.
Yes.
Lovely sight, isn't it?
Just gorgeous.
Also a nice sight to see that we've kind of, at least for today, joined the rest of the country for temperatures, which pretty nice right across the board today. Anywhere from 18 in Vancouver to 31 in Fort Mac, 28 in Calgary, 24 in Regina. You can see where that warm dome of air is building in. You can see where the temperatures are much cooler over towards the Thunder Bay area. And Toronto just at 22 degrees today, a bit of a cool down there for those folks. Now, as we move forward, I'll zoom into Atlantic Canada first and show you what we were dealing with in our neck of the woods in terms of highs today. There we go, and zooming in to show you, highs today anywhere from 16 in Halifax, 20 in Greenwood, 18 in Corner Brook and St. John's, and Gander at 20 degrees as well. 19 in Happy Valley Goose Bay. There are those showers that are rolling into Labrador as we speak. Labrador City, Happy Valley Goose Bay, and Western Newfoundland. That's where the showers will be most persistent through the day on Thursday as well. There's a slight risk in central Newfoundland, certainly into the afternoon. As far east as the Burin Peninsula, slight risk up towards Clarenville, Bonavista Vista as well. It does appear St. John's and the Avalon will stay dry until tomorrow evening. Temperatures ranging from 8 in onshore winds to as warm as 12 to 13 and 14 degrees away from those onshore winds. Looking at 7 through the Straits tomorrow, but 17 in Happy Valley Goose Bay, 15 to 16 for Labrador City and Churchill Falls. Now, roll through Thursday night in through Friday, and again, this front becoming a bit of an occluded front, which means not really bringing warmer or colder air, but is going to be bringing some showers with it, and we'll see those primarily into Friday morning, looking more and more like Friday afternoon. While I do think we'll see some isolated showers in there, it won't be as wet as Friday morning, and we could even see a couple of breaks of sun in there. And so temperatures, ranging from 16 16 to 17 degrees. Scattered showers. Certainly the clouds dominate on Friday, but as I mentioned, not ruling out a sun break. Western and Labrador and Happy Valley Goose Bay in the 13-degree range. Now watch as we roll forward into Saturday. Again, bit of a blocking high setup over the next couple of days. This low not really moving not really going anywhere too quickly. So the Saturday setup is showers, I think, most prevalent over Labrador, southern Labrador. I think Newfoundland once again. Certainly some isolated showers in the mix, but I also think once again we will see some sunshine. And again, the good news is winds remaining in from the southwest, and so temperatures should be back again into those mid-teens. Bit of a cool down for Sunday into Monday. That low will move off. We will see a shift to northerly winds through the day Sunday into Monday, and starting to recover a little bit into early next week, though it still may be a bit of a southeast wind for St. John's, and so that's why I've got my temperatures capped around 7 or 8 for Tuesday, Wednesday, though it's a long way out. Lots can change before then, and you can see Labrador certainly damp through the weekend, but drying out and really warming up into next week.
Well, today's young athlete is 7-year-old Avery Dalton from the Conception Bay South area. Avery is a gymnast with the pre-competitive program at Campia Gymnastics.
She's also a figure skater with CBS Skating Club, where she skates on the Beginner 1 synchronized skating team and is a Star 1 figure skater.
Way to go, Avery. You're today's young athlete of the day.
Welcome back to Here and Now. A grieving father in Napanee, Ontario is calling for action after a soccer goalpost fell on top of his 15-year-old son, killing him. The father wants the public to know just how dangerous the nets can be. Ashley Burke has the story.
A memorial that is...
2 weeks later, Dave Mills is still stunned at what unfolded at this park.
We feel like we've been, something near and dear and precious to us has been ripped out of our hearts.
These photos were taken of his son Garrett just 10 minutes before his death. On May 12th, he was hanging out with his best friend and girlfriend at this park. It was a Friday after school, and Garrett was excited for his first official date later that night at the movies.
They were just killing time playing in the park like they've done so many times before. His girlfriend relayed the message to us that he actually said that afternoon he was having the best day of his life. And he, I think, probably was showing off for the girlfriend a little bit and decided to start doing some chin-ups on the crossbar of the soccer goals. And it just simply tipped over on him.
The Ontario Coroner's Office told Mills the crossbar struck Garrett on the left side of his head, killing him instantly.
I had no idea that that risk existed in a park, that this harmless park had the potential to take somebody's life.
Soccer Canada says it's a requirement that goalposts must be anchored down during matches. The game can't even start before officials confirm it's secure. But on the day of Garrett's death, the soccer season hadn't started yet, and investigators told Mills the net wasn't anchored down.
At this point in time, there is an ongoing coroner's investigation that's happening, being delivered through the Ontario Provincial Police, and we're participating fully with that ongoing investigation.
It sounds like a freak accident, but it's happened before. In 2014, another 15-year-old died in Bradford, Ontario. Jamie Palm was playing soccer when the net fell onto her. Mills is now making it his mission to make sure goalposts are anchored down at all times. He doesn't know where the blame lies. All he does know is that he doesn't want any other parent to feel what he's feeling now.
You just miss him horribly. And you want nothing more in life than to be able to bring him back. And it's the most helpless feeling any parent could ever have.
Moving now to international news, a powerful and deadly explosion has ripped through the diplomatic zone in Kabul, Afghanistan. Dozens of people were killed when a bomb went off during the morning rush hour. More than 300 people were rushed to hospitals with injuries. Officials say the bomb was hidden in a water truck which exploded on a main road. The Canadian, British, and German embassies are all nearby.
NASA is launching a probe toward the sun. The Solar Probe Plus mission aims to find answers to some big questions.
Until you actually go there and touch the sun, you really can't answer these questions. And these questions are so simple. Why is the corona hotter than the surface of the sun? That defies the laws of nature. It's like water flowing uphill. It shouldn't happen.
The mission is set to launch next summer. The probe will fly 7 times closer to the sun than any previous mission, 6.4 million kilometers above the surface. It will orbit the sun 24 times, where the temperature is expected to hit 1,400 degrees Celsius, to investigate the mechanics of solar wind.
People in northwest China had to rush to safety after this sandstorm hit. The winds stirred up billowing clouds of dust and sand. Buildings were destroyed, trees toppled, and traffic halted. The sandstorm lasted for hours and ruined farmland in the areas hit the hardest.
Security cameras in Ukraine captured the explosion of an underground water pipe in Kiev, and you can see the ground shaking. Then suddenly a violent burst rips up the street.
Yes, and then that brown sludge starts rushing down the road. Several cars were damaged, but no one, thankfully, was hurt. The cause of the explosion is unclear.
Out of the studio and on to the farm. Where downward dog meets grazing alpaca. An alpaca farm in Quebec is holding special classes in the soothing presence of these woolly animals.
Woolly?
Yogis, well, they used to be. Yogis looking to connect with nature can pose alongside them, and since they've just been shorn, maybe knit a few leg warmers. That's the definition of relaxation.
Very calming. Well, a lot of people in the UK are tapping their toes to a catchy song that's quickly climbing the charts, but this is no breezy pop tune. It's a scathing political message aimed at Prime Minister Theresa May.
She's a liar, liar. She's a liar, liar. No, you can't trust her.
Well, you can probably guess it. The song is called Liar Liar and was released by a group called Captain Ska, which has ties with the leader of the Labour Party. The song's release comes ahead of the June 8th national election. It's a remake of an anti-austerity anthem heard in 2010. Now that one targeted David Cameron and Nick Clegg.
I'm not a liar, liar, liar. I've got, at least to my knowledge, this is what the forecast is going to be for tomorrow. Temperatures ranging from, again, 8 in onshore winds to as warm as 13 to 15 degrees away from the water for tomorrow. Pretty nice one. And again, 15 to 17 in Labrador. Good chance of showers for Labrador and the West Coast. And
wow, that's a big one.
And that is actually in CBS. That's off in Conception Bay, I should say. It's off St. Phillips, and a great picture there. Thank you to Lorraine Windsor for sending that in.
So, sorry, so could you see that from Topsail Beach
I
area?
believe
Yeah.
so. It
Wow.
looks like she is.
Yes,
we're hearing yes, you can.
Us you can.
Somebody
so.
who lives in the neighborhood, like our director says, yes, you can. I bet there'll be a lot of traffic out there.
Definitely.
See you tomorrow.